Yo, what up, street togs, street gods, street blogs? Urkham is back. Okay, back in the house, back in the house. All right, some thoughts. I love writing on my iPad Pro with IE Writer and the voice dictation. But the thing I cannot be bothered with is checking my typos. I'll let ChatGPT do that. So beyond that, let us vlog because I don't have to worry about typos. All right, so the big ideas of today. The general big idea here is, you know, what is your calling, right? So the reason why I think this is important is that, you know, like everyone has a calling in life and everyone wants to, you know, discover their calling. And I mean, honestly, a calling is just anything you're curious about, right? Anything you really care for. Autotelic means autotelos, which means you do something for the sake of it because you're actually genuinely curious yourself, not necessarily for just chasing money, what else, right? And yeah, so currently, you know, I'm very interested in money, like the philosophy behind money, capital, economics, the principles of economics, etc. And it's exciting because, you know, what is one topic that everyone likes to talk about? Money, right? And what is the first truly digital money we got is the Bitcoin. It's digital money, very simple. So yeah, like you remember when people thought that the iPhone was a fad, or when websites or blogs or the internet was a fad, or when people thought that Amazon would not take over the planet, right? Same thing. Okay, even I was like thinking, it's like Tesla is like, come on, like people, oh, Tesla stock dropped X amount today. I'm like, look at the all-time average, look at the 5-year average, right? Like Tesla's up like 100,000%, right? So avoid the short-term news. The best snapshots to look at is like the 5 to 10 year returns. So yeah, don't hate on Elon Musk because you wish it was him, right? Like even Jay-Z was like, you know, the ninjas would hate you because they can't be you. Throw them all in the bayou. So typically whenever I find that people hate me, people hate Eric Kim, don't hate me because you wish it was me, right? Yeah, because typically I don't hate nobody. Yeah, don't hate nobody. Yeah, I don't hate anybody. It's like kind of a big deal, right? I don't go on news, social media, whatevs, right? And typically you could only really hate people you admire or you desire to become. And like even like, you know, like let's say Mr. Donaldo, everyone likes to hate on him, but I'm like, obviously he's a terrible human being, but I don't care. Like, you know, I'm gonna always vote for the other party, vote for Kamala or whatevs. So whatever he says on Twitter or the news doesn't really, I don't care for it. So all these liberals who care for every single word, I'm like, you secretly obsessed with him? Do you have a crush on him? And nobody will fake that much sort of attention for you. So that's why being hated on is a greater sense of success. So from rigs to ratchets to diamond ring. Okay, so is Kim the next Jay-Z? Yep. First gonna be the first Bitcoin blogger billionaire. Okay, so yeah, I think yeah, actually ironically, growing up poor and in poverty could actually be the best education for not to become poor, right? Like I'm averse to anything. I'm averse to spending money because I know that nothing's worth it. Even like a hell yes or like a F yes versus a no is a sharp divide. Like I have never ever seen any car that I really wanted to actually fork over more than what, 2,500, 3,000. The last car that I inherited from the family, 2010 Prius, real men drive Priuses and hybrids, right? It's funny because the other day this one kid at the Toyota dealership, I asked him, like, what car do you think? He's like, you drive a Porsche 911? I'm like, thank you for saying. No, and I keep quizzing. Never everyone gets a Prius because they cannot understand this must test. Could be driving a Prius, right? So it's a reverse flex. Any sort of man who drives some sort of loser Porsche or Range Rover or whatevs is typically a weakling, right? Anyone with a big truck, a big SUV, yells a bunch of wimps. Just drive a Prius. Real men drive Priuses. But anyways, yeah, I think I mean, like, becoming rich is like super easy, right? It's like, don't drink alcohol, right? Don't smoke weed. Obviously, don't do any of the weird drugs. Don't be subscribed to no loser mainstream media streaming. No Spotify, no Netflix, no Hulu, Disney Plus, whatevs, right? Right? Don't buy a loser iPhone Pro, right? Just get the iPhone SE. iPhone Mini or iPhone SE are the only iPhones you should ever buy. Never ever buy a new car. That's like, you know, economic suicide, right? People's, is you dumb, right? Because the simple mathematics behind it is, regardless of any car you buy today, brand new or whatevs, like within a month or a year or 5 years you can get bored of it, right? So then the solution is simple: just never buy a new car. It's boom, easy, right? I just saved you like $100,000, right? So then you know, so then I guess the question then is like, what's the point of saving money if you can't spend it, right? That's a $1 trillion question that everyone has. Then it's very simple. It's building your own dynasty. That's why I think all of us degenerate millennials should have at least one kid. No more living a life of hedonism and trying to run away to Japan or whatever, right? Don't trust nobody whose passion is eating sushi. It's like sushi is like McDonald's for the Japanese, right? Right, just you know, you go to Amazon Fresh, get ground beef for only $2.50 a pound. I mean, like, that's the greatest hedge against inflation, right? So then the goal then is you're essentially living this like super gangster, stoic, Spartan approach to life and things, in which you never spend money on superfluous things. And yeah, I mean, like, think about it. It's like nothing's really worth buying. Like, even as a man, right? It's like you don't even have to wear a shirt in public, right? My new suit is essentially my 60-pound weight vest, right? It's like my Batmobile armor, right? It's like, you know, when Batman tries to take on Superman, he gets in the super steroided out outfit. Maybe the same thing, right? Yeah, and Ellie's the best, whatevs, right? So yeah, so then the goals is like, what's the point of saving money, right? Essentially, you're just trying to build a war chest and think about the future, right? Because I think the big problem here is, if you don't have kids, you don't really have anything to live for, right? But once you got a kid, you think about your kids, because when your kids have kids, right? And people think about generational wealth, generational power. Like, you know how like back in the day, right, like the Rothschilds or what, they have their own family crest. Make your own family crest. And yeah, so ultimately just think about the family.